Alright, well, apparently, it turns out I am a complete dumbass. Alright, so in the previous video, I was struggling with the import of this damn character and I couldn't figure out what it was. I mean, I did find a lot of mistakes that I had done. It was complete human error. I had eyebrows that, that were crossed. There was this was the left eyebrow. I mean, this was the right eyebrow, and this was the left, where it should have been the right on the left side and the left on the right side, and so on. The one arm was on one side, the other arm was on the other side. There was little bits here and there that I just couldn't figure out. And it wasn't anything to do with the plugin, because the plugin does exactly what it's supposed to do. It configures the selected object as the part that you want it to be. So I know it has nothing to do with the plugin. It obviously had to do with human error. So here's what was going on. I'm going to export. I'm going to call it screw up. Hit enter. And I'm going to go into CrazyTalk animator and bring back the 3D reference model. Switch over to the character composer. And I'm going to import that SWF file. Leave everything intact. And I just could not figure out what was going on. So, I mean, I haven't really done any additional work because I want all these videos to be real time. So, because I want you to get a sense of the time it took me to build this first character, and I have a feeling that your first character is pretty much going to go the same way as well. So okay, my front was fine, this was fine, this was fine. Here at 135 we have all sorts of wonky shit going on. The back is fine, that is fine, that is fine. Well, actually that is not fine, because take a look at this animation. Even though this is the back and that's the front over there on that side, let's take a look at this animation here. Oh, actually, you know what, that's working out fine. I don't know what happened there, but it was actually walking backwards earlier and I have no idea why. But so it was still having all these random things happening, right? And so I got to thinking, let me import this again. And all I needed was a little bit of sleep, really. I came in this morning and I pretty much had it, my first thought was, let me check the log. And let's see if we can bring in this file again. Import it. When you bring in an import a new file, I don't know how to access it from here yet, so there's probably a way to do it, but for all intents and purposes it's easier for me to just re-import this whole thing and wait a few seconds for it to load up so it can give me the error log. So here's my error log. Alright, so I'm obviously missing the ears. Definitely missing ears for the 350, 315. Well, I'm missing ears for everything, really. I should be. There's some poses. I guess the top and the bottom I created fake ears or something. I don't remember. I don't think I did. So I should be seeing an error for the top and bottom sections saying, hey, you're missing an ear on the top view and the bottom view. It's not doing that. I don't know. I don't care because it's not visible on my model. Anyways. This is my error log right here. That's how little it is. It's just missing the ears and a few pieces of hair, and that's it. All right, so let's take a look at what was happening on this other thing here. So I'm like, okay, I'm obviously having trouble with the 135 pose. Let me go ahead and nullify that. I'll select everything, and I'll just use this eraser tool, right? The eraser tool will blank out everything, or should. Let me see here. Window. Where's my output panel? There it is. Okay, so it says everything has been unassigned. let's see here. Well, that's probably because of this thing here. So let's try this again. All right. So everything has been blanked out. Well, not everything. Okay, let's clear it one more time just to make sure. All right, so everything's been blanked out. So for all intents and purposes, this 135 angle does not exist. And while I'm at it, I'm going to get rid of this angle. Click the eraser tool. Boom. All right. So this eraser tool has pretty much unassigned all of these instance names. So these are worthless. They have no meaning whatsoever inside of CrazyTalk. I'm going to export it again. So I'm going to bring it into CrazyTalk. Oops. And I guess there's really no need for me to have to sit here and explain this, but I want to because I want to keep it on record, maybe to somebody else out there who at some point starts struggling with, you know, well, what's going on and stuff. It might serve some kind of assistance to them. Anyways, so here's my error log. Still exactly the same. So shouldn't I be seeing errors for my 135 pose and my 225 pose? Now this is really weird shit, so I don't know if it's an issue with CrazyTalk itself, but I know I should be seeing an error log that tells me, hey, all the pieces for your 225 pose are missing, all your pieces for your what is it, 335 or something, 315, I don't remember, this pose right here. That one, 135. All those should be missing as well. Why isn't the error log telling me that? Well, whether the error log is accurate or not, it still got me thinking. This is probably something I should mention to the CrazyTalk folks so they can look into that. But it did get me thinking. So maybe those items are still in my file somewhere. And sure enough, I remembered yesterday I was going to use another pose up here. I made a duplicate copy of it and placed it down here. And here it is. Look at that. I was going to use it so I can use it as a guide for the placement of the pivot points on that mirrored image. So let's revert our file really quick because I don't want to have to rename all that stuff. And okay. So here we have our 135 pose. Everything is properly labeled from as far as I can tell. And this is my 225 poses. Everything's properly labeled as far as I can tell. But that damn extra layer that I created that I forgot to delete after I was done with it is still there. So this is obviously creating a conflict between this and this. And it's also underneath the pivot points for this pose. So it's creating all sorts of wonky shit. Let's get rid of this layer here, which leaves me with just my pure poses. And as far as I can tell, everything has been labeled properly. I have gone through the whole thing, checked the names, back hair, bottom pivot, you know, nose 45, mouth 45. I've pretty much checked everything I could possibly check, and it seems like everything is properly labeled. So I'm going to export this. I'm going to call it fixed. All right. So we're going to go in here, import the new SWF without that extra crap. There we go. Now my error log is still exactly the same, so I have no idea what the hell is going on with this. All right. I think Reallusion needs to do something and take a look at this error log system. Obviously, I know I'm missing these sprites, but I think there's a few more that I'm missing that is not taken into account, because my character does not have ears on the top and bottom views, so those ears should be represented on this error log. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, I'm going to close this thing out. I'm going to go to the front view. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in on it so you guys can get a better view. And boom. Boom. Huh? Look at that. It is working. And it was all because of my fault. It had nothing to do with the plugin. It had nothing to do with CrazyTalk. It was perfectly normal human error. I messed up. I created a new layer. I was going to use it as a guide, and I forgot to delete it afterwards. So this is kind of stuff that you got to keep in mind. All right. There's a lot of stuff to keep in mind. All the little instance names and all that stuff. The plugin does help, but it is a lot of stuff to juggle. So you have to be very careful that you didn't name things twice or duplicate things and not get rid of the duplicates. Let's give it a quick test. Let's do this basic walk here. I mean, it looks great. I mean, all these little popping actions in here, these are things that you can fix inside of CrazyTalk itself by adding a few joint masks. I mean, I could probably go back into Flash and adjust this foot so I can have an angle that represents the foot pointing this way. For this angle, it would probably look a little bit more natural. And see how this mouth shape here, this is not, I don't think this is the mouth that I created for this angle. So I mean, CrazyTalk is obviously doing some extra freaky deaky stuff in here, but or maybe it's human error. Let me take a look at this angle and make sure I'm not just, you know, imagining this. Because here's my 45-degree angle. No, I'm not imagining it. This is my 45-degree angle. This face, this mouth should be on this pose, but it's not. And let me see here. Let me go inside of it. Make sure I did my due diligence, created at least the very first pose. It's set up as a group. You know what? It may be my fault. Okay? This may in fact be my fault. Let's double back here, push Control Z. I'm going to go inside of this mouth. I'm going to break this apart, and I'm going to go into the nested regions for the mouth. I have this item selected. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to turn that into my normal mouth. Maybe CrazyTalk was supplementing the fact that I had a missing mouth here with one of my other mouths. So you know what? Again, that's on my end. That's my bad. That's human error. So as long as I'm doing this, let me go inside of this mouth. Sure enough, this mouth has not been configured. So let me click on that. All right. So now that mouth has been configured. Let's take a look at this mouth. It's not configured. See, there's a lot of stuff in here, and, you know, you got to go in here and keep in mind that, okay, so this mouth here, let's see, group normal. Why is this set up as a group? Break apart. All right, so that's configured. Let's take a look at, I mean, this is a mirror image of that other one, so this should be configured as well. And I don't know why this has been switched to a group, but here it is, normal. Let's go in here. That one has been configured as normal. Is there something back there? Might as well Let's go in there. That has the mouth configured. So I mean, the mouths, the eyes, the noses, you have to have at least one item inside of each of these things so that it can show up properly inside of CrazyTalk. So let me go inside of this nose. Yep, there's a nose in there. It's labeled normal. And since this is pretty much duplicated, I know, or I'm pretty sure, that I can reproduce that same nose here. Oh, here's a group. Let's break that apart. Let's switch over to the noses. All right, let's switch it. Let's call it normal. Boom. So now it's configured as a normal nose, or the normal pose for that nose. Let's break this apart. Let's call this normal. Let's go into that nose. Break that apart. Make sure it's okay. So let's call that normal. Yep. So you know what? There's still some stuff that I was missing, and it's not on CrazyTalk's side. It's on my side. It's human error. Okay, that nose is configured. That nose is configured. Now I'm pretty sure the eyes I took care of. See, normal 0, 1. The eyebrows, normal. Okay, so later on I do need to come back and create the additional eyebrows so that this character can have all sorts of expressions. I need to come back and create the different eyes so it can have different expressions, the different noses, different mouths. But for now I'm just concerned about that one frame, because as long as I have that one frame, at least the very first pose on every angle is going to look decent. So let's export it now and see what happens. Let's call this one fixed also. And let's go into CrazyTalk. I'm going to put my character back into the front pose. I don't think it's necessary. I really hate this calibration panel, because while the calibration panel is open, you can't really do anything else. You can't click on anything. You can't access anything. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of dumb. Even if you switch to Content Manager, I mean, there's not a lot you can do. Let me just close this. All right, so we'll import the new fixed SWF file. Click OK. Take a little sip of my coffee. Ah, that's hot. View our error log, which looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed. Anyways, let's take a look at this angles now. Oh, look at that. I do have that mouth angle. It looks like it did some scaling to the mouth, but I can probably live with that. I don't know. That, okay, so now we have a proper angle on that mouth shape. You know what? At the end of the day, human error is a pain in the ass. So let's see here. I know that you can come in here and adjust things, but I think this is a bug inside of CTA itself. This is definitely a CTA bug, because I know I can, you know, reposition a lot of this stuff, but I mean, you can't change the rotation no matter what you do. I don't know what the fix for that is. If anybody knows, please tell me, because this would help. You know, the rotation you can't do. I know that you can adjust the position of this, and as long as you don't have the angle linked, the position of this is not going to change on the other angles. But you know, I don't have angle linked selected. I know that if I increase the shape to the level that it needs to be, that when I switch to another angle, look at that. That is a serious issue, and that is on CrazyTalk's side. That is the Reallusion team needs to fix that. So I'd go back to doing that, and look at that. the mouth falls out of shape. But so this has nothing to do with the plugin. This has nothing to do with human error. This is definitely an issue inside of CrazyTalk that I'm gonna have to post in the forums for the CrazyTalk team. See, this angle came out perfectly fine, and so did that one, which is an exact mirror image of this one. So why did this one get skewed like that and that one didn't? It's a bit of a mystery. Alright, so dealing with all these little pops. This is very simple. We're gonna go press the F5 function key, and basically I'm going to select that neck and make sure I got that item selected for the joint mask, and I just press this little thing here. Boom. And let's see here. I'll just kind of move it there. Now when I test it, notice how the neck now stays in place. So that popping is gone, at least in that section. These hands, they look fine. I'm not gonna worry about the joint masks in that section. The legs look fine. This foot could probably use a little bit of a fix. Let's no, that doesn't work. So let's try adding a joint mask. See? So this mask just kind of brings out that back piece. We're gonna put it right there. Okay, so let's test it now. Right, there's some kind of positioning issue going on here between this leg and that leg, but you know, after working with some of the other options, I'm sure that can be fixed from within CrazyTalk. Let me go back and see what happens when because I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's do this confirm multi-angle settings based on this front pose. So it seems to have fixed the feet. This is kind of, you know, weird. Let's give it a quick test. Okay. So let's take a look at this. There's a joint mask there that I placed earlier. Notice how depending on where I place it, you know, let's see what happens if I just leave it up there. I can probably live with that. I don't know. I mean, this is one of those things that I guess at some point you just got to play around until you get it right. You can also do this. Let's see how that arm looks. No, that looks pretty terrible. So we're not going to do that. Okay. Anything else? Acting all weird. Here I see some weird stuff going on there. let's put a joint mask on that section. And there's an issue with those legs. So let's see here. So I need to ask on the forums if there is a way to adjust the rotation of that, because that will help on some of the things, like to help fix the models themselves. Like that issue I'm having with the with this angle. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Okay, notice the little black parts are starting to show up there. So let's move the joint mask over some. I do kind of like the way that inside edge kind of pops out as he walks, so I'm going to move it a little bit to that side. And this one, so I can get some of that line. I think it kind of looks cool. See that line right there? That's actually kind of cool. Maybe have less of it, but let's see what that looks like. See, I really like the way that little line just pops out like that. It gives it a bit of depth, of dimension to it. I don't like that top part, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Flash again, since I know the model works. I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to shave this part off. Turning on the magnet tool kind of helps on this type of stuff. I'm just going to do that. That should be a mirrored image of the same thing. My character is he usually wears, this particular character usually wears torn jeans, so I'm gonna experiment with creating that torn jean thing on one of the legs. Ooh, I don't think I can do that because it's duplicated. Alright, I'm gonna leave it alone. I wanted to put that torn jean on one of the feet, but that's alright. We'll do that as a prop maybe later. I don't know, I'll figure something out, or I mean, they don't have to be duplicates. I can always create a new instance of that leg. But let's see what happens with the leg itself adjusted. Now this time, because everything else is currently working, I've already done some work inside of CTA. I don't want to replace everything, right? So what I do, what I guess everybody needs to do, is when you import it, keep your bone settings, the sprite transformations, the joint mask, and pretty much everything. Just keep everything. Just bring in the new sprites. That way all the joint masks that I've set up and all that adjusted and everything, all that, you know, I don't have to do over again. So all right, let's test it. There's a lot of popping action going on. All right, I guess I have to recalibrate the positions. The wrong one. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. All right, let's give it a quick test. So that top part is not really popping anymore. It's a lot smaller. I still get that nice subtle crease of the pants in the crotch area. You know what? With a little bit of tweaking, you know, this character is pretty much going to be perfect. And once I create more hands for the different angles, I'm sure it's going to be more dynamic. More eyes, more noses, more mouth shapes, more eyebrows. But I think it's pretty much done, except for that bug right there, which I have no idea how to fix. If anybody can offer me any suggestions. Let's see. That's like one of the most useless features. Face depth, I guess, for the 3D stuff. What did I do? Yeah, I don't know. I can see why that would be useful, actually. Very interesting. Oh, and you can change it based on the angle. That's interesting. I just discovered something that might turn out to be somewhat useful. Nope, maybe not. That's just too crazy looking. And you can't just do like 1.3, can you? Nope, nope, no decimals. Let's see here. See, I don't understand the difference between move to bottom and send to back. I guess move to bottom be all the way to the bottom, and send to back is just one level back. Yep, that's what it is, just like Flash. I wonder what would happen if I do that with the walk. Nothing. That is messed up. All right. Well, I mean, at this point, it's pretty much all in the hands of CTA. So I think aside from some cosmetic issues, maybe fix some, you know, little things here and there, like I adjusted that leg section. It's pretty much in the realm of CTA and fixing it or getting it polished up inside of CTA itself. I don't understand that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue to play with this. I mean, the rest of it is just inside of CTA stuff. I'm going to try to polish up the character, and I think that's going to be it. I may go back and add some coloring effects to it. For example, this shirt, but I mean, I don't necessarily recommend going overboard with the cell shading and stuff, simply because of the fact of the animation style that this thing uses. It could create some really weird joint areas. I'll show you what I mean real quick before closing out. Let's see, extensions, Toon Titan. Where are you? Oh, there it is. So if I sample this color and bring it into Toon Titan, I'll adjust the shade, adjust the highlight, make it not so bright. But you know, I can come in here. Actually, I gotta select the highlight first and paint with that. Maybe add some cell shading to the shirt here in this region. Click on the shade, fill it in. I'm going to take that outline and I'm going to select it, bring it in here, use it as my brush area, fill that in. Let's see, let's cut that off right there. Let's see here, let's bring in this yellow color, this orange color, and I'll sample that outline. But I mean, if you're gonna do cell shading and stuff like that to your character, you have to really think about where you're gonna place all the shades and stuff, because as you move these elements around, the shades themselves are gonna form some kind of weird little edging and stuff, and you probably want to avoid all that. So I guess use it wisely if you're gonna do stuff like this. Highlight, paint with that, get that shade, fill that in right there. Okay, I'm just gonna do that top part right there and leave it alone. So let's go ahead and save that. And you'll see how a lot of this shading stuff just doesn't quite line up with the joints. But I guess with some clever thinking up front, you might be able to work around it. So we import it back into CTA. See, it looks kind of pretty. Let's test it. I mean, as it moves around, it's going to switch different body parts, so I don't expect that to stay consistent. Well, I guess in this example, it doesn't look too bad. But I've created other experiments where the edging and stuff, where the joints meet, really looks really like jarring and stuff. So hey, that's not bad. Let's recalculate the positions. There you go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put an end to this video, because at this point, I mean, explained everything, gone through all the process and stuff. I guess the next video that I'm going to do is a step-by-step concise version of how to put together a character based on what I've learned, what to look for, things to avoid, and maybe some extra tips and tricks, and maybe condense it down to a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. So if you have any other questions, or if you have some tips for me, because I am still, you know, I need to figure out how the hell to fix this. That's not cool. All right, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed this last video series. Laters.